what I like to do is bring on a very special guest. And this is someone that has read my book, What's Your Sales Story? One of the many people that have read it, that has left me emails and called me, but really shared some really interesting things about his what he understood about the book and how he applied those lessons. And I'd like to welcome him to the program. But before that, I want to show you a very quick video about his company, the Altek Media Group.
The Altek Media Group, a Southern California multimedia company providing exponential branding and marketing services to all their clients. The Altek Media Group understands the value of the 3W strategy, providing their clients proven, trackable results. Let us make it easy for you to grow your business. Visit altekmedia.com.
Welcome back. We are here with Dwight Cromie, who is the founder of the Altek Media Group, which is a multimedia and video production company that has been in business since 1980, so a number of years operating a very successful business. He also produces several online video business magazines that are distributed to hundreds of thousands of people, both nationally and internationally. And he also just started a company called StudioCast Pros, which allows people like me to have high definition, in-studio, online programming, which is a really good offering for people like myself. So with that said, I want to welcome Dwight to the show. Dwight, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
And Dwight, I wanted to share a little bit of a story about how we met. We met about a year or so ago at a networking function. And what was interesting is at the time we shared some similar interests. And we had a few meetings, and I ended up giving you a copy of my book, What's Your Sales Story? And I noticed that it sat on the shelf for several months. And you ended up calling me one night a couple weeks ago. But before we dive into that, I wanted to, as a business person that's been in business for, since 1980, which is a long time, you've seen a lot of ups and downs. How has the business environment changed in recent years, in your opinion?
Well, I think I'd like to use myself as kind of a model. I think, over the years, we've obviously seen ups and downs. This has probably been the longest down that most of us seen in our lifetimes. But it changed the way a lot of us did business. And that's kind of where your book comes in. In the 90s, in the early 2000s, the way I did business was, how can I help my client? How can I help my client succeed? And that was really my goal. And I think that was a goal with a lot of companies, even large corporations. How do I treat my employees? How do I serve my clients so it benefits my clients? Mm-hmm. With the downturn in the economy, we all lost income, our lifestyles changed, and it changed from how do I help my client to what can I sell my client? Where can I provide services where I'll make income from my client? So, I can't speak for other people, but I lost the focus of where I needed to how to serve my clients. Not that I wasn't providing them quality service and good products, but the way I approached my client was completely different.
Well, I think you speak to really a lot of business owners out there that have dealt with similar things over the past, several years. And I want to ask you, because oftentimes it's difficult to especially when you've been in business since 1980, to realize I need to do something different, or to look yourself in the mirror and say, what used to work may not be working, or let me get back to what I used to do. So, I know that What's Your Sales Story sat on your shelf for several months. And so just talk to me, what prompted you to actually pick it up and read it? And then tell me about the phone call you made to me on that Sunday night, like 2 weeks ago.
The reason I finally picked up your book was I actually took some time off for myself. Like most small business owners, I stopped working on my business, and unfortunately I was working in my business. So by working in my business, I had no time. So I really had no time to read your book. And it finally came down to where I took a short weekend off with a friend of mine. We went up to the mountains camping, and I thought, well, I saw your book, and I said, well, I'll take that with me because I like to read when I'm up in the mountains. So I read your book, and I liked your story. I mean, not that I could identify it because I'm not in that industry, but the final message that you delivered in your book really impacted the way I used to do business. Like I said, I used to be concerned with my client and his clients and how did everybody win, where because of the slowdown in the economy, that focus changed to how do I provide food for my family? How do I keep my employees employed?
Right. How do you survive? Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And that was really the lost focus. And what your book did for me, it helped me refocus what was important.
Dwight, I appreciate your sentiments about the book. Let me ask you this. I like to focus on reality and application of what's your sales story. So from your perspective, what have you taken from the book that you've now applied that you have done differently? And give us some examples of that, and then how your clients have responded differently to you as a result of your different approach with them.
Well, your book was relatively good timing. I had had presently made presentations to about 2 or 3 clients, and the clients came back and said that my quality was better than what they were currently receiving, and my price was better than what they were currently receiving. Mm-hmm. But, and I couldn't get beyond the but. Well, if my price was better, my quality was better, why aren't you switching to using us? And I think it was my approach. I wasn't concerned about what I could do for the client as much as what I could provide for the client. And so I stepped back, I talked to my staff, and we changed the way we do go about business. So as an example, we've gone back to a couple of our older clients, and I reconnected with them. I went in and said, hey, I'm not here to sell you anything today. I just want to talk to you. I want to know more about you and what your personal goals are. I want to know more about where your company is and where you want the direction of your company to go. And what are the things that keep you up at night? What do you struggle with? Right. And hopefully I can be a solution or a part of that solution. If not, hopefully I can help you find that solution. So it wasn't so much selling my services, but how do I help this client? And hopefully by helping this client, it will eventually help me. I actually applied that same philosophy to a brand new client where we had, he was brought in by another client, and I asked if I could spend some 30 minutes with him after the meeting. And he said, sure, I'll give you 30 minutes. And in that 30 minutes, I asked him about himself. I asked him about his family. I asked him about when did he start his business, what were the good times and the bad times, what had worked and what hadn't worked, where did he want to move his company. And I wasn't selling, I wasn't presenting him any products. I was just trying to get a better understanding of who he was, where he was, and where he wanted to go. And after that meeting, he basically gave me a double-handed handshake and said, I've been talking to ad agencies from California to New York, and he said, you're the first person that actually talked to me.
Wow.
And he said, please put together a proposal as soon as possible. So I wasn't looking for a sale. I was really trying to gather information about him to see if there was anything I could do for him, which I believe there is, but it was just that personal connection. So I think your book has helped me refocus what I used to do, was connect with my clients. And actually, that's when I was having the most fun in my business, because I was enjoying what I was doing. I was providing great services to my client, and my clients were succeeding. And somehow, not that I got off track, but I just missed the approach.
Dwight, I wish we had a lot of time to spend together, because I'd love to pick your brain and more about the book. But there are a couple of things that you touched on before I asked you the last question that really hit home for me. Number one, I talk about responsibility. And it's so difficult for salespeople to, when things aren't going well, to say, it's me. I'm the problem. And for you, as someone that's been in business for so many years, who has been successful, I know your business has been tremendously successful, to go through some downtimes and then to say, you know what, I need to do something different. That says so much about you as a person and about what we as salespeople need to do. I think also your approach with customers, trying to understand them and their stories. And the final thing you said, just in the interest of time, was fun. I will tell you that when you're not successful, when you're struggling and your customers don't like dealing with you, it's not fun. And selling can be fun when you help customers get what they want and you understand who they are. When you walk into an office and they welcome you in versus running the other way, that's fun. And that fun does turn into sales, because selling is emotional. And when you express emotions of trying to help people and fun and being real, they're going to respond positively. So last question I want to ask you is, so why would you recommend What's Your Sales Story to other business owners and other salespeople?
Well, I mean, again, part of your book, you talk about egos, and you were just talking about, I was blaming everything else. I was blaming the economy. I was blaming my staff. I was blaming the government. And not that those things didn't have contributed factors to it,
Right.
but it was really my approach. It was my fault. It was my ego standing in front. And your book, which was really nice for me, it was an easy read. It went to the core of where you were as a young man and thinking that you could take on the world, but I identified with it with my own personal sales background, my own personal business experience over the last 35 years, and it just brought home where I needed to focus. And truly, since reading your book, and I have applied the thoughts behind your book to my clients, and I am truly seeing tremendous success. I have clients that have canceled on me just recently in the last year that I said, hey, can I just have lunch with you? After having lunch with them, they said, perfect timing, let's do this. So I'm not saying I'm batting 100, but or 1,000, I'm probably batting 800 right now.
That's
so
great.
I think for anybody that's a business owner, a salesperson, considering business, it's a good book to read because it's easy to read, but it's a very strong message. It's what is your personal story? Where are you personally going? And it really helped refocus me and actually helped me refocus my company.
Excellent. Dwight, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank
welcome.
you for being such a genuine person. It's not easy to come on a program and
Appreciate it.
express who you are and what you've dealt with. And I know that you're on the right path. When you bat 800, if you were actually people that play baseball don't even bat that. If you're batting that, you're probably in the Hall of Fame after the first season. So I wish you continued success. I know your customers appreciate your approach, and I thank you for sharing your thoughts about What's Your Sales Story today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I want to thank our guest, Dwight Cromie, for being on the show. As I mentioned early on, I believe in reality. We could talk about theories all day, but at the end of the day, if we can't show the proof behind the theory and the results, then really these are just theories. And I want to let all of you know, as people that tune into my programs, that hire me for one-on-one coaching, that hire me to do a motivational talk with their sales team, or to even run a training program, that I'm not just going to talk about theories. I'm going to talk about reality and results. And I think what you just heard from Dwight is how he applied the theories in What's Your Sales Story to his own business and his own approach, and they've completely changed the course of his business. So I want to thank you, Dwight, for being here again, and also thank all of you for watching. Don't forget, we have a couple of upcoming programs. Number one is the Selling in Color program, and that is how to unlock the code of your customers, looking at personality types, and you definitely don't want to miss that program, because it's really going to help you understand how do you better connect with your customers by understanding their personality types as well as your own. Then we also have the Kaizen Way of Sales Excellence, which is a tremendous program that's going to talk about how do we create an impact when we get that 3 feet of space in front of our customers. How do we actually achieve more by doing less? And I'm sure we are all interested in learning how to do that, especially with all the pressures we're under to produce results with limited resources and with limited time. And also we're going to talk about the Kaizen Way of Sales Excellence actual sales process, which is completely different than anything that you've ever experienced before, but I guarantee will help to catapult your trajectory towards being the most successful salesperson you can be. So this is how you can sign up for the program. Tune in or log in to studiocastpros.com and click on upcoming events. And then you can call me directly at 949-371-9077. And you'll receive hours of personalized sales training and coaching, a free copy of my book, What's Your Sales Story, as well as a free 20-minute strategy session. And finally, before we wrap up, please share your thoughts and ideas. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to work with you. You can Twitter me at Ja Marr_Brown, Facebook, info@thekaizenway.com. That's via email, LinkedIn, and 949-371-9077 to have a direct live conversation with me. So with that said, I want to thank you for tuning in to this program, What's Your Sales Story? And I really hope that it helped you to eliminate what is getting in the way of your sales success, to understand the significance of stories, of your customer stories, as well as your own, and hopefully create a situation where you're able to write your own story that says, today, these were my results. This is how I felt about sales. But towards the end of your story, you can say, I reached my potential as a salesperson. I sold to purpose and not just product. And I had a tremendous, tremendous sales career. So with that said, once again, I'm Ja Marr Brown. Thank you very much.